right. Cool. So to kick everything off, we already did our introductions. I'll go ahead and just share my screen to show everyone the webpage on our CMAC website. If anyone hasn't gone through it yet, we'll just kind of run down everything. I'll give you the gist of what's on the website, just to get that general information going. Let me share that right now. All right. So I'll start at the top here. So yeah, we'll just go over empowered voices. We have a little countdown up here at the top so you can see how much time you have left until you need to submit those applications. Just as a important date to remember from the top, deadline for these applications will be March 25th. That will be a Monday and they'll be due at 11:59 p.m. So right before midnight. Don't wait until the clock strikes 12. So yeah, just a little bit about empowered voices for anyone who maybe just heard a whisper of it. This is going to be a 9-week documentary filmmaking program. It's going to be eligible to women ages 18 and over. It's going to be any woman in the Central Valley within the 6 counties in the Central Valley can apply. So that's open to anyone who lives here. But the whole point is we want to empower and amplify the voices of aspiring women filmmakers here in the Central Valley. So like our teaching instructors were saying, we're going to be providing training, guidance, support to any of the women who apply and they want to share their stories through media. So we are, encouraging anyone, even if they just have a little bit of experience or even nothing, no experience, to apply. And we'll have our lovely teaching instructors teach you along the way. So you won't feel alone. You can ask questions. It'll be a safe space to do so. And then we have, of course, if you want more information, you're here at this Q&A session, but we also have a Q&A session this Saturday. So even anyone who's attending today, if you would like to come in person and just meet anyone and everyone, feel free to also join us on Saturday. You're more than welcome to do so. We already went over the introductions today of who's in the Zoom call. And again, we have our program timeline. So if anyone wants to take notes of these important days, like I said, the applications will be closing on the 25th. And then the announcement of the selected participants will be by April 1st. So you'll know if you've been chosen by that day. The program will begin the following week on April 6th. We plan to be meeting on Saturdays in the afternoon. I believe we said 1 to 3 p.m. Is that correct, Alex? And okay, cool. But yeah, so Saturday 1 to 3. And then the exciting part will be that in June, so you'll go through the 9-week course, and by June, you'll have a finished documentary that will be about 5 minutes in length. And we're hoping to showcase all of these short films so you can bring your friends, your family to come and watch what you've created in your documentary. Then kind of scroll down. So this is just our FAQ section. I'm sure anything that we cover today will also be in these FAQs, so I won't read them all. But if anyone would like to read over them, just go through so you can explain what is empowered voices, who can apply. The most important one that I did want to bring up during this Q&A is the CMAC membership required to participate in this program? So first of all, I'll just start by going over CMAC. I did see some new names. I've seen some familiar names in the Zoom as well. If anyone doesn't know what CMAC is, we're a community media center based here in downtown Fresno. Basically, we provide media resources to anyone who lives here in the Central Valley. So we have cameras, audio, lighting equipment, editing equipment as well. Anything you'll need to start this media process, we have that here. And so normally our CMAC members, they have a membership to utilize all of this equipment and the facilities here. But for anyone who's chosen for this program, any of the 10 participants, they will be given a CMAC membership for the duration of this cohort, which is very exciting. You can come in, you can see the facilities, and you'll be able to, record, edit outside of these meeting times that we'll have every Saturday. So yeah, that's really exciting. I just wanted to kind of check in with everyone if there were any questions so far. And if you want, you can unmute yourself or you can type in the chat. No questions. Okay, cool. Just wanted to go over that. Let's see, anything else? There is not a fee to apply to this program that we have. Like I said, applications are due by midnight. And also you can submit as many applications as you'd like. So if you have, maybe a couple of people in mind for the prompt of this, which is who is a woman in your community that inspires you. If you have a couple of ideas and you'd like to submit, let's say 3 of them, you're welcome to do so. Just have them as their own separate applications, and then we'll choose one of those 3 if yours is chosen. Another question that we had, can you use a film that you have already completed? So short answer, no. The whole point of this is that it'll be a new non-fictional material. You'll go through the whole process. You'll attend these meetings. You're going to be bringing in, the footage that you've shot, let's say from the week prior, to show Angelica and Alex, and they can, give you advice. You can also listen to your peers, and, be workshopping it with everyone in the cohort. Also, what kind of films are we looking for? Like I said, authentic short documentaries, original, about 5 minutes long. The approach you want to take is going to be up to you. If there's a certain way that you want it to look, you can always ask our lovely teaching instructors. Maybe you have a short film that you really liked or a documentary you really liked and you want to kind of draw the same inspiration. Feel free to ask us and we can help you. Like I said, the winning participants will be selected and notified by April 1st. So you will know by then. And then what is required of the selected participants? So like I said, our teaching instructors have set out weekly deadlines for things. They have teaching, instructions already set. So any of those deadlines that they have set, we expect you to, stay in line with those, whether it's scripts or production schedules, rough drafts, anything like that. You may, have to present some rough cuts and participate in like those weekly mentoring sessions, which is not to, tear anyone down. Of course, it's just to kind of check in with everyone, see how everyone's doing, and then you can all work on your projects together. Also, we'll be meeting weekly, but you'll also be working on your documentary on your own schedule. So just to keep that in mind and, plan your time accordingly. With the CMAC membership, like I mentioned, basically we're reservation based. So you can make your reservations to use, some camera equipment, or if you need a editing room to come and edit in the computers here, you can do so. And you can also feel free to drop by the CMAC building, and we can kind of give you a tour of everything. We'll also go over that in the first meeting day. We'll go over CMAC and what you can do here. And just once again, even if you're not a filmmaker, but you have a story to tell, we absolutely want you to be a part of this. We encourage you to apply, and you can definitely learn, what it takes to be a filmmaker, and we'll guide you along the way with that. So that was just kind of like the most important details to know. Alex or Angelica, did either of you have maybe something else you wanted to add that I didn't go over?
Yeah, we can probably see if there's any questions on that. And then I can actually go over kind of more of the structure of the class briefly and talk about what you can expect. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat, or I think you can raise your hand, right? In these Zoom calls. Okay, you guys can raise your hand too. But I just wanted to kind of go over what we want to kind of structure it, how we want to structure it. So basically we've made it as simple as possible because we want people who are new filmmakers or just kind of have a really great idea that they've never done any type of filmmaking. We want you to still be welcome in these spaces. And able to succeed in creating your project. So we made it very simple, and we're definitely available for any help throughout the week. And like Andrea was saying, CMAC is available as a resource. They're so helpful and knowledgeable always. So you can talk to them when you're off doing your own thing. But for the instruction, for the actual course itself, we are going to be breaking it down basically into 6 steps for making your documentary film. And the first step is going to be finding your story and developing your idea. So we want to help you kind of, if you know a woman in your life that when you applied, that's the person you wanted to tell their story. We can still help you brainstorm how you're going to be telling that story or what angle you're going to be telling it from, because that's where you start with that. And then, so we're definitely starting from the beginning, the very beginning. And then we're going to go into pre-production basics. So how to do pre-interviews, how to contact your subjects. So very nuts and bolts information, but also in the classes, we want you to feel comfortable brainstorming together, talking about your film where you are in the process. So we want it to be sort of instruction, but then also time for you guys to collaborate and, talk about your films. And then we're going to do story outlining. So that's very helpful for planning. And then we will go into how to film your interview. And that's where a lot of the technical knowledge will come in from our instructors and from CMAC. So they'll be able to help you either find what resources you're going to need to film your documentary. It might be iPhone, mobile photography, or mobile filming. It might be your iPad, if you feel more comfortable with that. They have actual mobile like gear for the iPads and stuff. So, but we also have cameras if you're looking to delve more into like the actual technical side of filmmaking and you want to try to use one of their cameras, they can help you figure that out as well. And we can talk about that. And then the next step would be to film your interviews and then filming your B-roll. So we're trying to separate these things into 2 separate things. And if you don't know what B-roll is, we're going to be going over what B-roll is. But essentially we're telling you how to capture your story. And then the last stage is to edit it and then to how to share your story. So editing it, getting it into a final product, and then how to, share it with the world basically. And then we're going to be doing our premiere, I think you said, Andrea, the date on that one. But that's a really exciting element to this. If you've never had something premiere, this is a really great experience. You get to show it to everybody and it's a really fun time. So I think, those are the basics of what we're going to be going over. So if you have no experience, we're walking you through the whole thing. So you don't have to be scared, it's very simple and we're trying to the main goal is to complete things and also to build sort of a foundation and a network of women who are creating things in the area. So even if this is your first film and it comes out, maybe not as perfect as you want it to be, we want to just make sure you're creating things because we need your voice, so that's really our main goal. And I think that's pretty much an overview of the course. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, like that's what we're here for today. So I know it's kind of weird if you've never done anything to kind of put yourself out there, but this is probably the safest space to do that. If we create this environment where you can be a beginner, where you can collaborate with other women who maybe haven't had experience either, it's a good place to start. So I think Kaylee?
Hello, yes, I have a question. Sorry, I came a little bit late, but everyone else had their cameras off, so I did too. Um, Let me think. So I do want to apply, I do want to commit, but I have questions about the weekly check-ins or classes. Are there like dates already planned for this or how does this work?
Yes. So it will be every Saturday. And I think, Andrea, you know the exact dates, and I'm so bad at actual exact dates. But it will be every Saturday will be the instruction time. And then what we're doing is we're basically setting you up to go out during that week on your own schedule and your own time to start working on those milestones. So each week you'll be doing something on your own, but then you'll be coming together to kind of get feedback. So if we send you out to, do a pre-interview, which is one of the steps that we want to do, we'll have a class explaining how to do that, giving you tips, telling you how to use that for the next portion. And then we're going to send you out to actually do that pre-interview. And then when you come back in on that Saturday, so it'll be every Saturday, you'll come back in on the next Saturday, we'll check in with you and see how it went. So there is a bit of instruction in there where we're giving you information and tools. And then there's a lot of like, you guys are going out to apply those tools during the week. But what is the exact date that it starts, Andrea? Do you know?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So I just checked. The first meeting date will be on April 6th, and then we're planning to meet every Saturday after that. So it'll start April 6th between 1 and 3 p.m. And then our last meeting will be on June 1st. So yeah, all of the meetings will be on Saturdays from 1 to 3. Awesome. Thank you for your question, Kaylee. Just taking a look at the chat here. And was there anybody else who had maybe just any questions at the moment? Is there anybody new starting? Oh, let's see, we have a question. And will all meetings be at the CMAC location? Yes. So all the meetings will be here at CMAC. We're in downtown Fresno. If anyone has been down here, we are across the street from the PBS building, and we are kitty corner from Arte Americas. So we are in a big building on that corner there. Let's see. Also, Angelica and Alex have been working on a documentary of their own, just kind of so that way the participants can ask them questions about their process. They also interviewed a woman in their community that inspires them. So if anyone does have any questions, maybe about the creative process, like if you're new and you wanted to know, just maybe while we're here, we have maybe about 30 minutes. If anyone wants to ask about their process, definitely let us know. It's the last weekend, June 1st.
I
Yes.
believe they mean the last meeting is June 1st. I think so, right? It's the last Saturday
Yes.
that we're meeting is on June 1st.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that will be our last meeting is June 1st, which is at Saturday, will be from 1 to 3 p.m. Awesome. All right. Yeah, maybe just the last couple of things. Let's see. Yeah, Alex or Angelica, I don't know if maybe there was any, maybe we can just give suggestions for anyone who it's their first time, maybe thinking about joining something like this. Maybe we could just talk about why this matters to us and why we're so passionate about wanting to create this cohort and this program.
Yeah. Yeah. So personally, I mean, I've worked in this area for a long time, and I've been doing a lot of, during my student work and then doing production outside of school and working in a commercial space, so working at an ad agency here in town. And it really struck me that there were a lot of sets where I was one of the only women actually on set. And this is not super uncommon, it's very common. Even though we've seen a lot more representation in the film industry or in just in media and content creation in general, it's still very slow growth. So we're hoping to kind of create this space, because I think step one in losing imposter syndrome or breaking into those spaces that are very male dominated is to create a network of women who you can call on, or you can collaborate with, or you can check in with, who can validate your experience in this space, because it is hard to find that. So I really like the idea of, first and foremost, I know this is a class and we're going to be learning together, but I also want this to be a way for us to connect and to stay in contact and to help each other on different projects. Or, if you guys meet someone in this space who's working on something very similar to yours, you guys can collaborate together on your projects and then get to work on more things in the future, hopefully. And so for me, it's really important because I got a career based on working on projects at CMAC. I basically was able to make a couple things myself, and then that was used to get an actual job in the professional space. And so I just would like to see more women entering that professional space and being behind the camera. And I'd like to see more representation of female voices and storytelling in general, just coming from more women, because we need those stories. And so that's why it's super important to me. I think we're definitely going to teach a lot, but we really want to create, a cohort that can collaborate and connect with each other. So that's why it's important to me. because I didn't see a lot of that. I hung on to Alex for dear life because when we worked at the agency, I was like, oh my gosh, hi. Like there's never any women, you know, and it's one of those things like every time on set, if there's a woman, it's just very exciting. It's an energy exchange. It's very nice. And so I just want more of that. It's probably for selfish reasons, but I do want more of that. So.
Yeah, I think Angelica really said it well. Like I'm Angelica's biggest fan, and Angelica's my biggest fan, even though there's this imposter syndrome, right, in the industry where because it's so male dominated, you doubt yourself, right? And I feel like that narrative resonates with all women, right? In this, not just in this field, but in other fields. And we just happen to be in this one, and so it's really nice having that support, you know, especially going through the same things, you know, having a similar voice, a similar story to tell is really empowering when you share it with each other, you know, and you support each other, you know, like this isn't a competition, this is a way to collaborate with one another, right? Even though you're making your independent films and each of you will have your different stories to tell, it's more of a group effort, right? Like we learn from each other, which is a really cool thing because this is a safe space. Like you can film your documentary with your iPhone, or if you want a tablet, or if you want to use one of the fancy cameras that CMAC has, you know, we're here to teach you how to, you know, start at whatever level you feel comfortable at. So a little bit about my background. I started filmmaking in high school and I was self-taught. No one taught me how to do how to tell a story, right? Or like how to pick up a camera or anything. I kind of just picked it up on my own. And I really wanted to, you know, make PSAs, and I did, and I had a really great time doing it. And so in college, I started working for Fresno State as a videographer, and I realized, you know, hey, I'm kind of good at this. Like, you know, and so after that, I started working at a marketing agency. That's where I work now as a video coordinator, and I'm the only one in my position. So it's really neat having a group of people that you can rely on for ideas, for creativity, for you know, just their second take on something. You know, that's why it was really nice working with someone like Angelica, where you know we could be honest with each other, but it wasn't criticism, right? It's constructive, right? And that's the beauty of this, is where we can collaborate and we can be constructive together, you know. Go Pandas. Kaylee actually went to my high school, so we know each other from there. But yeah, you know, it's a beautiful thing coming together, and it's a full circle, you know. Like if you're interested in this, it doesn't have to be a closed space, you know. There's a lot of women in this industry. It's just hard to find them, or it's hard to hear them, right? Like with all this male dominated, and it feels daunting to get into this space. But honestly, like as soon as a door opens, you just have to take it, you know, and you have to almost tell yourself like I belong here, because you do, you know, your voice is just as significant as everybody else's, and you have a story to tell too. So I'm really excited about any of the people that apply, and I'm really excited to meet you guys. I think it'll be a really cool program, and I really hope that you take something from it. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, like Angelica and Andrea said, like reach out to us. Yeah, Yerving, what question did you have?
Hi. Well, thank you both for sharing the reason behind creating the cohort. I think that really brings into light why it's important to have these type of opportunities. I'm really new at this, so I'm coming in with like no knowledge. My question is that if we need any type of equipment, because I know it was mentioned that CMAC does have equipment on site. If we need to check out the materials to use off-site, is that something that is permitted?
So good question. So yeah, basically with CMAC, how it works here is well, for sake of this program. If you are chosen, we'll put you into our system. We have a member portal that members use to reserve equipment, as well as facilities. And specifically for the equipment, you can have it for up to a week at a time. So, if you plan to do like a couple of different shots throughout the week, that's usually what I suggest to people, is to plan to where you can check out the equipment for up to a full week. You have your specific days to shoot during that time, and then you can get the most out of your equipment reservation. You can also reserve it multiple times. It's basically just like a first come, first serve system. But we can, explain more to you on that once, we get there. And we can also walk you through that whole process. And that's the whole point of me being here as well. So if anyone has any questions on how CMAC works, especially if you've never heard of us before, feel free to also look on our website. It's just CMAC.tv. Feel free to click through there, and you can also see the webpage that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, hopefully that answered your question. You can have the equipment for up to a week. You can take it off location. It's just that it'll be in your care and in your responsibility. So, just take care of it appropriately. But yeah, that's really, really about it with that. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
I have a tiny bit more to add because you guys are amazing at CMAC, and they have a lot of equipment, and I think a lot of it looks really scary if you've never like touched a camera. But the thing about this program is we're trying to meet you guys at your level, so there's a lot of options for what equipment you would want to check out. And one of our classes, before we send you off to do any type of filming, we're actually going to go through the plan for your shoot. So you've picked a subject, you've planned what the story is going to be. We've talked through some of the the visuals you want to capture. And then what we can do is kind of make recommendations on what equipment you should take out, or what equipment you might need or not need. And there's kind of a rule in pre-production is you want to have it and not need it versus need it and not have it. So sometimes you might check out a lot of equipment and only use one thing. And so we want to go through, that. And we all have really firsthand experience with all of this stuff. So I love this idea of this class because I hardly ever get to talk about pre-production with people. And I do producing, which is like, that's my job, is to do pre-production and planning for all the shoots that I go on. I'm in charge of assembling the team, assembling the equipment, making the schedules and getting everyone there, and then executing the day. And then I also edit, but this is like the main thing I do. And so I'm super excited to just kind of explain to you guys how it really is simple, but the planning is where you're going to get a lot of the value from this, because it's pre-production will help you go into a shoot and feel confident. And so that's what we're hoping to do for you, is like give you all these informations, walk you through the step process, and then help you with planning your specific shoot, giving you suggestions on your specific story that you're wanting to tell, and then hopefully you'll feel really confident going out there. So even if you're new, that's our goal. So we have a lot of like combined, a lot of us, we've done a lot of stuff. So Alex is like incredible at everything, but also like CMAC is incredible at knowledge and knowing all of the stuff with their equipment. I don't even know how to use half the stuff that they have there. And I've checked it out too. And I've been like, do we need a slider? What is a slider? Let's just bring it anyway, So it's very fun to have access to that. And it's cool. They're going to be allowing people to have a membership, so you don't need to actually buy one. So that's actually really amazing. And I just encourage you to utilize it. But yeah.
Yeah, totally. And like Angelica was saying, we have a bunch of different equipment. They'll go over with you what works best for what you're trying to do, so that way you don't overwhelm yourself. You can just figure out what works best for you realistically, and you can base your project off of that. For example, what they were saying, we have gear and equipment that you can use, like even just your almighty cell phone, right? That you can record almost anything off of. We have like a mobile phone kit. So it comes with a little clamp that'll go around your phone. And then it has a little tripod on the bottom. And then it'll also have like a mic that you can plug into your phone. So we have things like that. We have mobile phone stabilizers as well. So it connects to your phone, it holds on below it, and then it'll take out that shakiness. It looks like a robot. It looks really cool. So we have all kinds of stuff like that, just based on what you're comfortable with. And yeah, basically, you can also do like some test shots as well. So you can, check out maybe like a camera or two and just see if you're comfortable using that. And if you decide to stick with your phone, that's totally fine. So yeah, you can just test things out, see how you like it, go off of that, and then ask us if you have any questions. But yes, definitely planning everything ahead of time will make things so much easier. I feel like sometimes people like underestimate it, but it'll really help you make sure everything goes smoothly. So yeah, pre-production is also a very important part for sure. But yeah, did anybody else have any more questions kind of pop up after that conversation? No problem. Okay, music is starting. So just a heads up, we have a whole concert going on behind me. Yeah, I guess I just wanted to also just share my story with this. I was also really excited to start this women's cohort. It kind of, conversation just started sparking here at CMAC, and we were realizing like, yeah, you know what, we have a lot of great, women producers here at CMAC. And we're very proud of them. I'm also in that group. I'm more like Angelica, I'm more on like the pre-production side of things, the producing side of things. That's my passion, but I'm still on set. I'm still helping everything come together with everybody else on set. And so, it's my passion as well. Like similar stories, sometimes you get on set and you realize that, yeah, you are maybe the only person that looks like you on set, as well as being Latina, like being on set, and there's not very many people that look like you. So sometimes you feel like a fish out of water, but I've really had to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna make the best of it. I'm not gonna let that bring me down. I'm gonna learn. Even if you're just like a PA, which is just a production assistant on set, it's not nothing is a small job. Really anything can help you learn. You can take notes of everything. Even when you're on set, just asking questions like, hey, how do you set up that camera rig over there? Like, hey, like, how do you do audio? Like, just watching people, asking questions, being engaged, especially. So for anyone who's, maybe starting to pursue or new, or wanting to, that's really like my suggestions is always just asking questions, not being afraid to get hands-on. That's really the best way that I personally learn, and I know a lot of people personally learn. And yeah, I just also wanted to create that safe space for others. I got the inspiration from my sister. She's in filmmaking. She's directed quite a few of her own short films, and she's welcomed me to be a PA. And that's what really got my passion going. So because of her, I've had the experience, and I've had, at least someone to tell me like, hey, don't worry about anybody else. I know there's a bunch of dudes here. Like, don't worry about them. Like, you're fine. You've got this. So that's what we want to bring, as well. So we're super excited to start this. We're, hoping to do this more in the future. And this is our first one. I actually had somebody ask me that today. So this is our first ever women's cohort. So we're going to be, maybe adapting things as well as things get thrown at us. So we're going to keep improving every time, but we want to keep this going for sure. So yeah, anything that we can learn from any questions as well will help us along the way. But we're kind of nearing the end of our Zoom call. So kind of I'll open the floor again if there's anybody who wants to add anything in the chat, or ask any questions.
Yeah. And if you guys have like ideas for your short film already or what you're looking to film, you can share that as well. And then we can also go over what we filmed, like just kind of the overview of Julie, so you guys know kind of what we're coming into. So we really wanted to make sure that the tools we were giving you guys would be successful tools. Like, in theory, you can create a worksheet and be like, oh, that works in paper, but does it work in practice? And so we wanted to make sure that it works in practice and that it's as simple as possible. And so we took the tools that we're going to be giving you guys during the class, and we made our own short documentary film following a woman that inspires us in the community, just to make sure that we are leading by example and that you guys can see where we how we use the same tools and the same, resources and all of that. And so our film is about Julie. She is part of she does the bike station, and she is a bicycle mechanic in the area, and she created this nonprofit, this organization that puts on events that are called bike station events, and they help people learn how to fix up their own bikes. And so it's a very empowering experience. And Julie is doing amazing work in the community, and so she's very inspiring just in general. But usually like mechanical spaces and like, you know, repair shops and bike repair shops. I don't know if you've ever been in them, but they feel very like masculine and like male dominated as well. And so that's a similar type of a story to like what we go through as filmmakers. And just women in general have a lot of those types of stories. And so we wanted to talk to her about her experience, you know, being a part of that space. And yes, that's at the bike station event. That's Alex. I'm in charge of BTS, which is why it's very messy. Like the visuals are not great for my behind the scenes photos, but I still got Alex doing her thing. But yeah, so they put on these events and people come from the community, you bring your own bike, and then instead of just fixing it for you, they teach you how to fix it. And so this is a very empowering space. She talked a little bit about her history and like how she got into that. And we're hoping, you know, at the end of it, we have this really great documentary that highlights this really cool person. And she's just really inspiring. So I don't know if you want to talk about your experience, Alex, like filming it or the story.
Yeah, I had a great time filming it. A lot of it was pre-production and talking to Angelica about it, meeting up at coffee shops, talking about what we're going to do, what we want to portray through this documentary, and then going out and filming it, getting to know Julie, making her feel comfortable with us was also a big step, right? It's awkward enough being in front of a camera. So you want to make sure that the person you're documenting, right, feels comfortable with you, right, and is able to answer the questions that you're asking them. And so that was also a really important, vital step behind filming and all that. And then, yeah, that's us filming her in her garage. And then me filming in the back of a car.
That's considered a stunt, by the way, guys. It was kind of fun.
Stunt,
It was
yeah.
very exciting.
we had a great time, and honestly, it was because we did so much planning. The day of didn't feel so hectic. You know, we took it slow. We were like, okay, what are we gonna do next? We're gonna do B-roll. We're gonna do interview. All right. And because we had all of those things already planned out, it felt like a fun day, you know. And it really was. And now we're in the editing process, and it's all coming together, and it's really beautiful how we were able to, Angelica and I were able to make something. So hopefully by the time we start this program, we can show it to you guys and walk you step by step what we did and how we got the shots that we got and how we got the interview the way we got it. But yeah, it's really, we wanted to make sure that we're showing you guys basically the skills that we used in order to make this documentary. And we made notes of all of that, from pre-production to filming to editing. So all of that will be available to you guys during the program. But I'm very excited. For whatever reason, I did want to make a note. We want to get as many women applying as possible, but for whatever reason, CMAC is still available, right? Like memberships are always still available, and they're very, very accessible. So for whatever reason you can't make this cohort, or this program is too much time in your schedule, we completely understand. CMAC is always there for you. So if you can't dedicate a Saturday once a week, because we understand people are busy, CMAC is always ready with memberships for people in the community. So there's always that option. But of course, we want you guys to apply, and we would love to meet you and love to teach you. So yeah. But if anybody else has any other questions, like, feel free to take the floor.
Yeah. And I also like, if you're still trying to think of an idea, because I know part of the application is you put an idea in the application, right? So like if you're still trying to figure out oh yeah, the car trunk photo. Yeah, I know. I was very excited about that. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about the safety protocol on that, but as a producer, I was in charge of safety, and I made Alex a harness out of a backpack and like a purse strap. It was very secure though. So she was very safe, but it's
I did see
it
that.
was yeah. I was like, it's very scrappy, but you know, sometimes you do what you can. And that's kind of the stuff we like, not that stuff specifically, but that's kind of the stuff we want to teach you. Is I think a lot of the gatekeeping that happens in filmmaking is that people claim things are way more complicated than they are. And they are complicated, especially when you like look at it from the outside, but we want to demystify that. We really want to be like, okay, yes, you have to do pre-production, but pre-production, that all it is securing the dates, it's like these small things, and that's pre-production. And so these things sound scary, and like, stunts sound scary, or like cameras sound scary, but a lot of that is because of the language we use around it is kind of inaccessible sometimes. But really, when you get down to it, it could be your phone. It could literally be your phone. It could be that accessible. Yeah, but we're really trying to like provide that experience for you guys, to give you all the tips that maybe I didn't have when I first started. That's why I'm super excited to give you tips, because I'm like, nobody told me this when I was starting out, and I would just love for everybody else to know it so they don't have to learn the hard way. And then there are things we want to share in our process where we actually didn't get everything we wanted to get. Like there were some things we had to pivot on. So there were things we learned, you problem solve in the moment. So we're going to share also those missteps as well. But going back to finding your idea, I do recommend and encourage that you look around you. And, it could be someone in your family, like maybe your mom makes the most amazing pasta, or like maybe she, bakes her own bread, or maybe your sister is a filmmaker or does something really cool, or like there's a woman, maybe it's a stranger. Maybe you want to be like, oh, I just go to this coffee shop every day, or I go to this, this like uh, bakery every day, and I see this person and I think they're amazing, and I just want to talk to them. We will help you figure out the best approach. If you don't have access to them so far, we can help you figure out how to contact them, but really just look around you. A lot of people, I think filmmaking, you can get a little bit further in that beginning stage by looking around you and what's accessible already. So making it as easy as possible for yourself. So we recommend, yeah, looking at your family, looking at your friends, people you already know, or people you want to know that are already in your immediate community, that are accessible, because we don't want you to think, oh, I want to do a documentary about the CEO of, Valley Children's Hospital, and she's like never available, like that's probably a little too much for this type of cohort. But I mean, if you want to go for that, we can try. I'm just, I just would really encourage you to make this step and make it really simple on yourself, because you can tell a really beautiful story about just people around. Everyone has a story, honestly. And so if you know a woman who inspires you and she happens to be your mom, like let's go there. Let's do that documentary, let's make it simple for yourself so that you can just tell a good story and get that under your belt so that you can use it for the next story you want to tell, and maybe keep upping the ante every time you make something. You don't always have to start so big. So that's kind of my advice, is just look around, what's accessible, who's accessible right now. And maybe that'll be in your application. I want to do a story about my sister or my mom. So that's kind of what I encourage. Just don't feel like it's so daunting. It doesn't have to be.
Yes, great advice, Angelica. Thank you so much. But yeah, so now we're towards the end of our meeting now. And yeah, just like Alex was also saying too, if maybe the meeting dates don't work for you, and maybe you're just not able to make it this cohort, no problem, but we would love to see you. Like I said, my job here at CMAC, I'm the community engagement coordinator, and so what that means is I see all the projects coming in. So from any of our members, once they paid for their membership, when they have a project ready, they submit it, and then I get to see all those wonderful, beautiful projects. And if you have like any questions, I'm always here to help you in that creative process as well. Maybe you need a little bit more refining, just to clear up your idea, make it again easier for yourself so it doesn't seem so daunting and seem so overwhelming. That's my job here. So for anyone who does want to even continue making, documentaries after this, maybe you are chosen, feel free to ask CMAC for any help and any resources. That's what we provide here to the community, and that's what we want to help everyone here with. So yeah, I think we'll kind of close out the meeting. Speak now or forever hold your peace. If you have any last minute questions, pause for dramatic effect. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. And again, like I said, if you would like to come in person and just meet, people face to face, I am a big fan of that. You're more than welcome to. We do have another link that you can use to sign up for that. It is available on our website, cmac.tv/workshops. It'll be under there. Just reserve your ticket, and maybe we'll see you this Saturday. So thank you for everyone joining. we'll see you next time.
Thank you
Thank-
guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.